Hi, I'm Kenrick Thomas. Welcome to Live United. Once a month, we like to have our funded partners come on and talk about their organization and how they impact the community. At the United Way, we've been around for so many years, helping the community, impacting the community on health, financial stability, and education. Today, I have Will Armstead, the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of St. Lucie County. And sitting right next to him, I have Melanie Wales, the COO of the Boys and Girls Club of St. Lucie County. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Great. Now, before we get started, tell us a little bit about the Boys and Girls Club, because so many people think that it's just a daycare center. You just drop your kids off and you pick them up, but you guys do a lot for the people you serve.
We do, and Melanie and I, we plan our day around a couple key points: academic success for our youth, building good character and citizenship, as well as living a healthy lifestyle. And those are the core programs that we have. And inside those programs comes out a lot of different programs that we evolve with.
That's great. Now, Melanie, talk about the importance of this organization for the community.
So we are very fortunate to have a large footprint. So whether you're age 5 to 18, we'll serve you. And we have 19 locations across St. Lucie County, and we're always growing. So our formula is to get those kids who need us most and to provide a outcome-driven club experience for them. So as Will mentioned, our programs that we offer could be homework help time, and then they can go into a prevention program to help them to say no to drugs or gangs. Then they'll spend some time outside and play basketball or learn something in our games room about teamwork. And then in the same token, we also have other programs that are outside of our walls where we work with kids that are truant, and we make sure that they don't have unexcused absences and that they're spending their time in the classroom so they can be more productive. So that's our club experience, and as Will said, the ultimate goal is for them to be successful academically, live that healthy lifestyle, and really producing citizens that will give back to their community. One important thing for Boys and Girls Club is that our kids learn what the needs are in this community and how they can give back too, and I know that's important for United Way as well. And so this summer we had a program called Million Members, Million Hours of Service, and all of our kids learned about different organizations that need a little bit of help. So maybe they collected items for the Humane Society, or maybe they visited a local nursing home and spent some time with the elderly, but we're instilling those important values in them while they're with us. So it's not just a daycare, it's so much more.
Now, there's several locations around St. Lucie County, the Boys and Girls Club. It's not just in Fort Pierce. How many locations are there?
There are 19 locations. We are in 14 schools currently, and we have 5 neighborhood clubhouses. So if parents are looking for a program, they can reach out and see if we're in their child's school. They just come right to us after school. We also offer morning care as well for children. And then we have our 5 neighborhood clubhouses, which we strategically locate where we're needed most. And the kids actually can get dropped off by bus, or maybe they can walk to us depending on how close the school is. And then of course, during the summer months, you know, parents are working, and we want to provide that same healthy environment for kids, so we're open all summer long as well for them.
That's really good. Now, I believe the Boys and Girls Club is going to be partnering with the school district and the Treasure Coast Food Bank. Tell us a little bit about that.
So we've already partnered with both of those entities, and it's been a wonderful experience. Every one of our members, over 2,000 kids that we serve each and every day, receive a hot meal or a nutritious meal at the end of school every single day.
Why is that important?
Go ahead, Will.
Well, you know, it's when we looked at this a couple years, Melanie and I talked about what are some of those barriers that our kids have. And so one of the things that we saw was some food insecurities being one. And the other thing is parents are so busy. A lot of, 2-parent homes are both working, and kids are going home and they might get a meal, but it might just be quick, just so we can get on to the next thing. And so those are real things happening. So how could we get that done? And so we had 2 great partners. We walked them through it, and in a very short period of time, beginning this year, they made it happen for us.
That's great, and that's a really important program because that's been going on for a very long time. Even back when I was in school, I would see students sometimes take a little extra lunch from their school to bring it home so they can have something to eat when they get home.
Detroit.
Yes, so that is a big issue, not just in St. Lucie County, but around the country. So it's really great that you're doing that. How long has this program been involved?
Well, for us in St. Lucie County, we've always given the kids a snack. And so that's been going on for many, many years. But in terms of an actual hot meal that had all the components of the meal, that's just recent, very recent, this school year.
That's really good. Now, talk about some of the programs the Boys and Girls Club offer.
Sure. Right now, so in order to cover our 3 areas, a typical child will come in. We have them do their homework first because we understand that that's important while they're with us, while they have some caring staff to work on certain problems with them. They'll take that homework out, work on it. We'll give them some reading time as well. We have an awesome program called MobiMax, which is a computer program, but it covers 5 subjects. And we can actually gauge where the child is depending on their academic performance and, entice them through reward and such to move in even further ahead. Some of our programs for sports are triple play basketball. We have our triple play soul as well, which is really interesting. So you may play basketball at school or you may play volleyball or any other type of sport, but what we do is we try to break it down for the kids so they can learn the components, they can learn how that affects their body. What's the stretching method before that? How am I going to build in teamwork? How am I going to build in maybe a math problem while you're doing basketball? So we do some interesting things like that. We have a really neat program that we're about to roll out, which is cyberbullying. So we're going to teach our kids and our parents both about, what does that mean when you have this screen time? What this tool is that you're given as a phone or a computer, and some things you need to watch out for, because once you have that in your hand and you decide to go one way or the other, there's some things that our kids are learning the hard way, and we want to try to educate them before those occurrences happen.
That's good. Now, that's a lot of programs. Do you have any success stories of certain people who've been impacted by your organization?
I have an alumni in mind right now. So Celicia Ellis, who was one of our children, she attended Garden Terrace and our Infinity unit. And right now she's up in Tallahassee, but she spent her whole summer in Washington, D.C. interning. And she grew up on probably one of the most tumultuous areas of Fort Pierce. She had a house full of many children, and at an early age, she experienced her brother being killed. And so her parents were very afraid to let the kids out of the house and go do activities outside, which is completely understandable. But they took a leap of faith and they enrolled all of their kids at the Boys and Girls Club. And Celicia talked about that was the first time she was able to go outside and play, and she learned basketball at the club. And so that translated into her being on the varsity team by the time that she graduated. Right now, she is dedicated to giving back. She, I believe, is going on into law potentially, but she's interested in politics as well. And she recently came back and did a presentation to the city of Fort Pierce so that we could start a new program in a new building. And part of what she talked about was how the club impacted her life and that we need more clubs to serve more kids that are coming out of neighborhoods where this is a place of hope for them. So she's one of our success stories, and she comes back and gives back and talks to our kids as well.
How does that make you feel to work for an organization that has that much of an impact on someone's life?
It's pretty amazing. So you do your work day in and day out, and I feel like we have a special treasure with Boys and Girls Club because you have those kids that reach out and say, this is what I'm up to now, or you may see them on Facebook and they're married now and they have their career, and you really realize that they may have been a statistic in somebody else's eyes, but it was that one child that had that one caring adult in their life and that club experience and that safe haven. And we were able to turn it around for a lot of them, and for them to be successful now, especially the ones that come back, it's a really great experience.
You can add to that when you talk about success stories. We have success stories every day. I mean, a kid goes from bad behavior to good behavior, a D to a C, a F to a D. Those are all small wins that we are witnessing every single day in our clubs. So we have the big programs, but then we have those small programs that we watch, you know, how kids relate with other kids and their mannerisms and their respect for adults. And so we're seeing big wins every day from small people.
That's really good. Now, how did you get involved with this organization? Because I've always connected you with the Boys and Girls Club. How did you get involved?
That's funny. I live it every day. I live it every day. If you ask my wife, I'm up early in the morning because I love this organization. But I was on the board for about 8 or 9 years. And I've always been involved in kid organizations, to include Big Brothers Big Sisters, still a big brother. But this particular organization, there are just lots of kids that need our support. And we're a great community. And I wanted to always work for an organization that cared about their youth and the staff. Melanie's been here for a long time, 11, 12 years now, or close to that. And I've known Melanie for a while. And so just seeing how they interact with the kids and knowing that I could make a difference in their lives has been so rewarding for me.
That's really good. Now, talk about some of the events you have coming up.
So I have a lot of favorite events. We have our most recent event that's coming up is our steak and steak. Steak,
Yes.
It will be actual steak. Great steak from the Okeechobee Steakhouse out of West Palm Beach, and then taking a stake in a kid's life. And so this particular event is going to be the Great Gatsby theme, and there's going to be 500 people in attendance, dressed in their Sunday best. Great company, great food, great atmosphere. There'll be opportunities to be a part or take part of auctions. And it's just really a good time and just great fellowship and people on the same page in the same direction for kids. Each table, which is unique to many organizations, each table will have 2 kids sitting with them. And it gives them an opportunity to put themselves in the kids' shoes. And sometimes in some of those spaces, parents are sitting at the tables, but then it's different when it's someone else's kids. And so this gives them an opportunity to see what a club kid does each and every day.
Now, is there anything else you want to add
About our event?
about your organization, your events?
Well, let's talk about Infinity. I mean,
yes.
that's very exciting, and that's coming up.
Yeah. So our Infinity unit, which is located in North Fort Pierce, it's on the corner of Avenue I and 23rd Street, is about to reopen. It's been under construction for some time, and we're having a grand opening on October 25th. We're inviting the whole community out, and people will be able to tour, play games, and most importantly, we want to sign up some new club members, but we'll be able to fit over 100 kids there, and we feel like we're going to be bursting at the seams because it's a pretty cool place.
That's great. That's really good. Well, thanks so much for coming on. It was really a pleasure speaking with you, learning more about your organization, and I really appreciate the time.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
When it comes to saving money,
What?
don't act like a baby.
Oh, it's like they're having their own little meeting. This is so humiliating.
Be the boss
I'm the boss.
What the?
Power nap. You were saying.
and make a budget.
Let's get to work.
Need a little help?
Stacy, read back the notes.
I can't read. What's it say?
Create a personalized savings plan and get other tools and tips
We can share.
You obviously didn't go to business school.
at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back. I'm Kenrick Thomas, the Director of Marketing and Communications for the United Way of St. Lucie County, and I'm joined now with Pace Center for Girls, Adrienne Huggins, who's the Programming Director, and also Kelly Lee. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Now, tell us a little bit about Pace Center for Girls, for those of them out there who don't know.
Well, we are a private nonprofit school, and we're here in Fort Pierce, Florida. We serve girls in both, in all of St. Lucie County, so both Port St. Lucie and Fort Pierce. We help those girls who have fallen behind academically to get back on track. And we help those girls who have been abused, abandoned, neglected, or have had some societal influences such as bullying in the school setting, early involvement with the juvenile justice system, and we help those girls get back on track and to find their way. in the world. We know that all of the girls that come into our program, they have strengths, and we help those girls find those strengths so that they can be successful. We are a strength-based program, so we meet the girls where they are, and we offer incentives for them to continue to grow. We know that all of our girls come into the program with some areas that they could improve in, and we don't focus on that. We really hone in on those strengths, and when we see those areas that they need to grow in, we talk to them about those areas, we point them out, turn them into teachable lessons so that they can learn how to do better in that area when they're presented with it the next time. We are also gender responsive. We understand that we're serving girls, and we understand the emotions behind coming with serving girls. So all of our staff know how to modify their classrooms in order to meet the needs of girls. The counselors use techniques in order to meet the appropriate needs for our girls. We're also trauma informed, so we understand the trauma that comes along with the girls that we serve, and we're ready to respond to that trauma whenever it arises. We're a year-round school, so the girls who come to us and they've fallen behind academically, they have that summertime to actually remediate and catch up on those courses that they've fallen behind in.
That's great. Now, how did you get involved with Pace Center for Girls?
That is a very, very good question. Well, when I was about 14, 15, I started having some both behavioral concerns and mental health concerns. And I was battling bipolar disorder, and I was unmedicated. And that's basically when everything started. I was in and out of psychiatric institutions every single month. And when I wasn't in psychiatric institutions, I was a habitual runaway, going out and doing drugs. And so that kind of made me fall really behind in school. I was skipping classes, I wasn't passing any, and I was getting into fights with all the students, and I was being bullied, and then I became a person who does the bullying, and I didn't like that about myself. And the school was like, hey, we don't think this is the best fit for you. We think you should really try going to PACE.
What do you like about this program?
I think the thing that I like the most about this program is that you have more one-on-one and individual attention than you would in a public school setting. They can focus on your needs, they can focus on your wants, they do their best to help you get to the point where you need to be. And they work with you. They work with, what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. That way you can kind of, communicate that and turn that into basically your growth, like your, how should I explain this? Just the growth pattern that helps you move forward and get to the point where you need to be and where you want to be to become successful and to transition out of the program.
Now, what is your interactions with this program now as a graduate?
As a graduate, when I first left PACE, I needed a job. And so they helped me write a cover letter and my resume, and then they would actually even take me to my job interviews. And so other than that, I do a lot of volunteering and mentoring the girls. I provide birthday gifts for them, and I come back and sometimes I speak with the girls and try and help them out and give them advice. And I also go to their fundraisers to speak for them and to advocate on their behalf.
Great. Now, are you currently enrolling girls, and how can someone get involved with this organization?
Yes, we are enrolling, and our location is in Fort Pierce. We're on Virginia Avenue. If someone has a need, our local schools usually get in contact with us. We usually get referrals from the Department of Juvenile Justice, and a lot of our families just walk in. So call us, and our number is 772-595-8880. If you have a girl and they're interested in the program, all they have to do is call us. We will get them scheduled for an intake appointment where we gather some information for the girl. There are certain risk factors that the girl has to have in order to be a part of the program. So we want to make sure that we can actually meet their need. Are the services that we offer the services that this girl needs in order to be successful? So we gather information. We gather information from the parent, give them a small tour of the center, and then we meet as a team to determine whether or not this girl is eligible for the program, and we bring them in. Now, we do have girls that come in, and I believe Kelly was one of them. They come in and they don't want to be there at first. Initially, it's I don't want to be at an all-girls school, or these people are too nice, or whatever the case is, and we really help them get adapted to the program. We have a program called Spirited Girls, which is kind of the heartbeat of PACE, and Spirited Girls prepares our young ladies for that transition into young adulthood. We talk about topics like cyberbullying, and we talk about teen dating violence, and how the importance of a healthy versus unhealthy relationship, how to be resilient. You know, we really help them hone in on those skills that they didn't know that they had to use. And our girls really admire when we do the tours our small classroom sizes, because our teachers have 14-to-1 in the classroom, and that gives them that opportunity to tailor the curriculum for the girls that we work with. So we are enrolling, and call us up.
That's great. Now, what is it like to work for an organization that has that much of an impact?
I absolutely love it. I mean, I have a heart for the youth, and I can really say that the staff that we have there now, they're all engaged, and we're all on the same page for working for PACE and being able to provide those services for the girls. I love to watch them blossom and turn into the Kellys that we have. We have a lot of success stories, and every girl's journey is different. Every girl is there working on themselves, and once they find themselves, it's so amazing to see. And we keep in contact with our girls for up to a year after they transition from our program, just so that we can make sure that they're staying on that path to success, and to let them know that we're still in their corner cheering them on.
That's really good. Now, how did you get involved with this organization?
Well, I was actually working in another area with another community service agency, and I had some girls on the caseload for the agency that I was working with that I referred to the program. They really enjoyed the program, so I applied for the position here in Fort Pierce, and was hired on as the social services manager at that time. And I took the opportunity to relocate down here to take the position. I was really excited because I love our youth. I love empowering females. So hey, it's all in one.
Awesome, awesome. Now, do you have any events coming up that you want to speak about?
We sure do. On November 8th at the Black Box Theater, we are having our Hope Flows spoken word event, and that is an opportunity for our girls to showcase all of their lyrical geniusness, because we have a poetry club, and our girls get that opportunity to express themselves through their art. And I'll let Kelly tell a little bit more about this upcoming event, because she's actually performing.
Great.
And this will be her 3rd year performing in our Hope Flows event.
Wow.
I think that one of the best things about the Hope Flows is that us girls have all these bottled up emotions that we feel like we can't express to people. And sometimes the only way to express our feelings is through this form of art. And for us to get up on stage and really express our concerns, our emotions, and how we feel to everyone takes a whole load off our chests. I mean, especially if, our poems are directed to someone in the audience, we may not feel comfortable telling them, this is how we feel in person, but when you're on that stage and you have that empowerment, you have that strength, and you have that courage, it all just comes out. And it's amazing how it can transform girls, because some girls, like I had very bad social anxiety, and for me to go up on that stage, it was like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna freeze? Am I gonna have a panic attack on stage? I get up on stage, but it's just art. It just comes flowing out. All that emotions that you bottle up for so long, it comes flowing out. And I think that's really necessary that the girls have that. It's just truly a beautiful feeling. And it's a truly beautiful event too, because you get to hear their stories and what life has been like for them and how they transition through that. And you get to hear their struggles and how they cope, and just everything that has been inside of them just comes out. And it's really beautiful.
That's really good. When did you find your love for poetry?
When did I find my love for poetry? I've pretty much been writing poetry since I was a little girl, actually. But I never really realized that it was a talent. I thought it was just putting my words on paper. I didn't realize that, that was something that I was good at, that something that could inspire people, that could make a difference. And so when I started really getting into it, I took creative writing at PACE, and I actually got to learn like different forms of poetry, how to express voice, all of the senses, and how to portray that and create imagery. And I think that was really a great step. And another great step was having the Hope Flows, so that, I could continue to express my passion.
That's really good. Now, would you recommend PACE to others?
Definitely, without a doubt. You know, they help me through so much. They help me overcome addiction, help me overcome my mental illness, and help me realize that my mental illness does not define who I am. They got me the counseling that I need, the therapy that I needed. You know, anything I need, they always had my back. Like I always say, once a PACE girl, always a PACE girl, because that's truly how it is. And just the experience, they help me convert my experience from all the trauma that I went through throughout my life and help me not drag it, but bring it into maturity and help me become the successful woman that I am today.
That's good. How will you always be involved with PACE throughout your life?
Yes, definitely. Like I always plan on advocating for them, you know, donating to them. They're just one big support system, and I really support and appreciate what they do, because I know that if I hadn't gone to PACE and gotten that help, I would probably be dead right now. So I think it's really important to get the word out that this is there for girls, because there's so many people who just really need that help, and they don't understand that there's resources out there who can help you.
That's a really touching story. How can the community get involved?
Well, I did want to mention our other fundraiser event that's coming up. That's January 19th. We're having a midwinter's night swing time. So that is going to be a really fun event. But the community can become involved by investing in one of our girls. We have a program called Sponsor a PACE Girl, where you can get in contact with our agency, and for $100 a month or $1,200 a year, you can sponsor a PACE Girl and help us with the books for the girls, uniforms for our girls, the lunch that we serve our girls, you know, just help us with our, you know, help us be able to provide for the girls that we serve. Christmas is also coming up. Every year we get every single one of our girls Christmas gifts.
And they're good too.
Yes, they get really good Christmas gifts, and that's something that the girls really like. We are a family at PACE, so we have a big celebration. We get our dinner catered in, and the girls get to open up their Christmas gifts. So at this time, we do need some help with getting those Christmas gifts items for our girls. We're in an incentivized program, so we have a point store that the girls can go shopping in based on their behaviors in the classroom and around the center. So we always need different, like, little trinkets and socks and journals and things like that help us motivate our girls to get them where they need to be.
Well, that's awesome. And thank you so much to both of you for coming on the Live United show. I really appreciate your presence here, telling the community about your organization and how people can get involved. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.